Story 1. The Girl in the Fields. At 12 years old, Emily loved the rolling fields of Hollow Creek. Her family's farmhouse sat at the edge of town, surrounded by golden wheat and wildflowers that swayed under endless blue skies. The town was a haven. Everyone knew each other, and kids roamed freely, unbothered by the worries of the world. Emily's days were filled with the chatter of her sister Sarah, her friend Lily, and the animals on her grandparents' farm: cows, donkeys, a pony she adored. But one spring afternoon, the fields she loved turned into something else, something wrong. It was a Friday in May, and Emily woke buzzing with excitement. A new foal had been born at the farm, and her aunt was coming for dinner. But her sister Sarah, usually the perfect student, was in tears, begging to skip school over a forgotten geography test. Their mother relented, leaving Emily to walk to school alone when Lily's mom said she was sick. The day felt off, the air heavier than usual, as if the world held its breath. After school, Emily took the long way home, a dirt path winding through the fields. The silence was soothing at first, broken only by the rustle of grass and the distant hum of insects. She spread her jacket on the ground, lay back, and stared at the sky, humming softly. Wanting to pick flowers for her aunt, she gathered a bouquet of poppies and daisies, their colors vivid against the fading light. That's when she saw it. About 200 yards away, a figure standing motionless by the path. At first, she thought it was a scarecrow, its patchwork clothes flapping in the breeze, but as she approached, the figure twitched, a subtle shift that sent a chill down her spine. It wasn't wood and rags, it was a man. Tall, gaunt, with a face half hidden by a tattered hat, he stood unnaturally still, like a predator waiting for prey. Emily's heart pounded as she neared, her footsteps loud against the dirt. She tried to act casual, humming louder, but the air felt thick, the fields too quiet. When she passed him, she caught a glimpse of his eyes, pale, unblinking, like they saw through her. She quickened her pace, relief flooding her as she left him behind. But then she heard it, soft, deliberate footsteps crunching behind her. The silence of the fields, once comforting, now felt suffocating, amplifying every sound. She glanced back. The man was closer, waving timidly with a smile that stretched too wide, revealing teeth stained yellow. "Hey, little girl," he called, his voice low and syrupy. "You look lonely out here." Emily froze. Her mother's warnings about strangers echoed in her mind, stories of men lurking in the countryside, preying on kids. She forced herself to keep walking, but the footsteps matched her pace, faster when she sped up, slower when she slowed. Desperate, she stopped and spun around, blurting, "My dad's coming to get me. You better leave before he sees you." The man laughed, a hollow sound that echoed across the fields. "I know your friends ditched you today," he said, taking a bite of an apple. The crunch was deafening in the stillness. "I know you're always together. No one's coming for you." He winked, beckoning her closer with a bony finger. Panic surged through Emily. She ran, her legs burning, the bouquet of flowers scattering behind her. The field seemed to stretch endlessly, the path twisting in ways she didn't recognize. She didn't dare look back until she reached her farmhouse, collapsing in the yard. Her mother, tending the garden, rushed to her as she fainted. When Emily woke, she stammered out the story. Her mother wept, her father grabbed his rifle, but her aunt urged calm. The man was gone, leaving only the memory of his ghastly smile. Years later, Emily drove past those fields with her boyfriend, recounting the story. The beauty of the flowers felt tainted, the air still heavy, with the observer's presence. Hollow Creek's fields were no longer her paradise. They were a liminal space where safety dissolved and something ancient watched from the shadows. Story 2. The Radio's Plea. Michael had always been fascinated by radios, the way they pulled voices from the ether. His small apartment in Hollow Creek was cluttered with receivers, their dials glowing faintly in the dark. He spent evenings scanning frequencies, catching snippets of weather reports or amateur chatter. It was a harmless hobby until the night he found the signal. It was late, the room lit only by the green glow of his receiver. As he tuned through static, a faint signal flickered on a frequency that should have been empty. The display jittered, hertz jumping erratically, as if the signal fought to be heard. Then came a voice, hoarse, trembling, barely human. "Help, please, I'm trapped." The words drowned in static, but the desperation cut through. Michael's hands froze on the dial, his breath shallow. He adjusted the receiver, straining to hear more. The voice returned, fragmented. "Dark, so cold, don't leave me." It sounded like someone young, their strength fading. Michael pressed the mic button, his voice shaky. "Hello, can you hear me? Where are you?" Silence answered, followed by a low hum that vibrated in his chest. For 2 days, Michael obsessed over the frequency, barely sleeping. He scoured online forums, finding references to a police band used decades ago for kidnapping cases. One article chilled him. A boy named David vanished in Hollow Creek 20 years earlier. His only trace, a weak radio signal that faded after days. The case was unsolved, the frequency abandoned. When the voice returned, it was weaker, a whisper swallowed by static. "Time, so long, free me." Michael's notes piled up, times, words, anything to make sense of it. He tried responding, pleading for details, but the signal grew fainter. The air in his apartment felt heavy, the walls too close, as if the voice brought something else with it. Digging deeper, Michael found an archived police report. David's signal had mentioned a dark place, just like the voice he heard. Locals whispered of an entity in Hollow Creek, something that traps souls in liminal spaces, fields, airwaves, shadows. Michael didn't believe in ghosts, but the voice felt alive, its pain raw. He spoke into the mic nightly, offering comfort, but the words grew distant, replaced by a buzzing void. One evening, a final whisper came, "Free, 7, the signal died." Michael contacted a friend in radio forensics who suggested the signal might be a loop, a ghost in the machine. But Michael couldn't shake the feeling that the observer was behind it, holding David's voice in a timeless prison. He still scans the frequency, haunted by the plea he couldn't answer, wondering if the observer is listening too. Story 3. The Videos. Jessica lived alone in a quiet Hollow Creek apartment, the kind of place where rain pattered softly against the windows, lulling you into a false sense of security. Her boyfriend, Ethan, was away for work, 300 miles away at a conference. On a rainy evening, feeling a scratch in her throat, Jessica curled up with a movie. Then her phone buzzed, a video from Ethan's number. Expecting a goofy message, she hit play. Ethan's face appeared, his voice calm. "Hey, Jess, I'm almost home. Don't lock the door. I want to surprise you." The video showed their apartment door, the familiar scuff on the paint above the peephole. Jessica's stomach dropped. Ethan wasn't due back for days. She called him. No answer. The message showed as delivered but not read. Trying to stay calm, Jessica reasoned it was a prank or a scheduled message. She poured juice, focusing on the movie, but another notification came, another video. Ethan's voice was sharper now. "I'm outside, Jess. Lost my keys in the cab." "Let me in." The camera lingered on the door, the hallway's dim light casting long shadows. Jessica rushed to the peephole. Nothing. The hallway was empty, silent. Her pulse raced. She rewatched the video, noticing Ethan's shirt, an exact match to the one he'd worn when he left. His eyes, though, seemed off, too still, like a mask. Friends had warned her about AI deepfakes, but this felt too real. She texted a friend, Matt, who confirmed Ethan was still at the conference. Another video arrived. Ethan's tone was irritated. "I've been knocking, Jess. Open the damn door." The camera panned to the hallway, then back to his face, his lips curling into a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Jessica's hands shook. She checked the lock. Secure. Another video came. Ethan stood in what looked like their living room, holding her favorite yellow flowers. "I'm here, Jess. Come see me." The room was wrong, the walls a shade off, a painting from their garage inexplicably hung. The door creaked open in the video, revealing a darkness that seemed to pulse. Terror gripped her. She shoved a dresser against the door, her phone lighting up with another video. Ethan's face filled the screen, his voice a harsh whisper. "Open." His eyes were empty, pupils too wide. Jessica slid to the floor, clutching her phone. A faint scratching came from the door, like nails on wood. She texted a neighbor for help, but the message hung, undelivered. The final video showed Ethan, or something wearing his face, standing in a room that mirrored hers, the door ajar. "I'm home," he said, stepping forward. The screen went black. Jessica sat frozen, the rain louder now, the apartment too small. She never opened the door, but the observer's presence lingered, a reminder that in Hollow Creek, reality could be a lie.